You feel me? All right, next story that I want to talk about. This was extremely interesting to me. So, Oprah Winfrey has a show on Apple TV. It's a series called The Oprah Conversation. Now, recently on this show, she had a guest on. She had a few guests on. She had one guy who's an ex-NFL player named Emmanuel Aiko. Not too sure I'm familiar with that brother, but Emmanuel Aiko, and another white gentleman or a white woman and another Latino person. So they're having a conversation about white privilege. Now the problem was, and it's my opinion, because Oprah got a lot of shit about this conversation. In the conversation, she's saying white privilege exists. She's basically going in on white supremacy. She's basically speaking to the injustices of art that we experience in our community, right? Now, a couple things happened. So people came out and they are attacking her like viciously. She's getting attacked because of her statements. Right now, one, I think, is because Oprah has been kind of apolitical. She's not really been a strong advocate of black injustices. Like, she hasn't really spoke about racism in depth and unapologetically in her career that I'm aware of. If she has, show me, and I apologize. But from what I've seen from Oprah, she's been real safe. She's had a real large white audience. At times, she's sided with people that didn't have our best interests in mind based on her relationship with them or based on her relationship with her network or whatever the fuck. You see what I'm saying? So there's been time that it's been obvious that she has been on the other side of our liberation. I have seen that from her for sure. But what happens is now she's an older woman. She's extremely rich. She's extremely wealthy. She's coming out speaking about these issues. People are basically telling her this something, and this is something that they hit all successful black people with. If you have a lot of money and you come out and say, hey, there are injustices in this country. There are privileges that white people have that black people do not have in America. You know what they're going to tell you? Oh, you rich though. How the fuck you know about that when you rich? You talk about some type of injustice when you got all the goddamn money. How are you suffering from racism when you're rich? See, that's a ploy. That's a distraction. That's a distraction that they use to come at us with, because in all actuality, the amount of money that you have don't matter. The amount of money that you look at Bill Cosby. Look at R. Kelly. Look at anybody of influence. If they want to come and get your ass, no matter who you are, they can come get you. But that's what, to me, what a racist white motherfucker will tell you. One person said on Twitter, oh, she got billions of dollars and there's white privilege. Where's your white privilege here? She still has to deal with racism, regardless of how much money she got. Now, on Oprah's behalf, if she would have been speaking out about this shit from the beginning, because people was hitting her with, well, you made your money off having these large white audiences, and now you a billionaire. Now you want to come out talking about how shit ain't fair. You see what I'm saying? And I don't really fuck with that. Like, I don't agree with that per se, but I do understand the fact that for years she's been speaking about a lot of stuff. Oprah has had a very large platform for a lot of years. In those times where she did have the Oprah show, where it was an audience full of white folks, it was rare that it was some revolutionary shit going on there. You feel me? You may see what I'm saying? So she has, a lot of her money came from a white audience. But that don't negate the fact that there is white privilege. And people were saying, she had a guest on her show, a white lady on her show, that's basically saying, well, no, we're being dangerous when we say that all white people have power, because there are working class white people, there are poor white people, homeless white people. Sure, ma'am, there is. But if this homeless white man called the police on me, who you think the police gonna look at fucked up? You see what I'm saying? We live in a system that gives people advantages strictly because of how they look. Because even a white poor person, do you know how a lot of white poor people think? You know why they're able to be completely comfortable in their skin? Because they say, you know what? I'm white, I'm poor, but at least I'm not a nigga. You see what I'm saying? They gonna see me, even though Trump and political pundits look at poor white people the same way they look at poor black people. Poor white people don't really understand that logic. They think they're better than us just because they're white. When in actuality, that can't be furthest from the truth. But we do live in a system that will give them benefits before they give us. That's just the reality of it. We do live in a system, like I said, if we have to have an interaction with the police, and it's this white motherfucker here and it's me over here, the benefit of the doubt more than likely it's going to go to the white person. You can have a white homeless person who, let's say, they have a little job experience, they've worked throughout their life a little bit, but they're homeless, they look all fucked up. Put him in a suit and send him on a job interview. Then put a black man in a suit who had the same kind of problems. He's homeless, he been in jail a little bit. Put him in a suit. Who you think gonna get that job? In most situations, we're not speaking in absolutes here. We're not speaking in absolutes here. There's a lot of black people who do well in this country, right? But in totality, when we look at all, because regardless of how successful I become, regardless of how influence I garner in society, right? Regardless of any of the positive things that I may do to help me or my family, I'm still aware that it's 40 million black people in this country. 40 million, maybe a little more, maybe a little bit less, right? I'm looking at all of us in totality. Like, you gotta be, like, we have, that's what unity is about to me. We have to look at all black people as the same. So regardless of how successful I am or become, if there's a poor black person in a hood in America, if there's a hood in America that's underprivileged, then we not doing shit. Then we not what we're supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? Until everybody in my community is lifted up to a degree, none of us gonna be lifted up. You feel what I'm saying? That's why we have to continue to support and find ways to fight these injustices regardless of what you garner in society, because sometimes black folks get to, and I think Oprah may have suffered from this at one point in time, where you have a lot of influence, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of say-so in different circles, and then you get up there and you look back like, well, y'all can do it too. I did it. If I did it, y'all can do it too. And that's not quite how it's set up. You see what I'm saying? When we look at the black billionaires in this country, when we look at the extremely successful black men and women in this country, it's a small percentage. It's just at Oprah, LeBron, Jordan, excuse me, it's a small percentage. It's not a whole lot of them. You see what I'm saying? Now, excuse me, this country wants you to believe, excuse me, because they're going to show you Oprah and Jordan and the entertainers and Diddy, right? They show you all these prestigious black people who have found a way to get to where they are, who are extremely hardworking people, in my opinion. I'll never take that away from them. You feel me? But at the end of the day, when we look at systematic racism, when we look at how the welfare system was set up, when we look at the prison industrial complex, a lot of our people don't have the wherewithal to get out of this maze. You know what I mean? You're expecting people to kind of get out of the maze without a map. So yeah, if one of us get through the maze with no map, it's like, wow, good job, bro. But in totality, that's not really how it works with all of us. You feel me? So I'm happy Oprah is speaking out. Hopefully she does more of it. Hopefully she can get to a point where she say, fuck what these white motherfuckers think. I'm going to do what's best for my people, because at times I haven't quite seen her allegiance to us in a manner that can be beneficial to all of us. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to the sister Oprah, man. I don't have nothing against that woman. I think overall, money or not, she's been extremely influential in our culture. You know what I mean? I just wish that everybody who is black, everybody who has melanin, that is extremely influential in this society, sees best fit to empower their community unapologetically. Like, you got to be able to say, fuck what people gonna think. Fuck how they're gonna view me. Fuck what I can lose from this. Fuck the money I can lose from this. What's more important? Like the future of our children or a goddamn paycheck. You feel me? Now, next story that I want to go over. I think this is the last story too. Oh.